The most common aspect ratio for photos is 4:3. The most common aspect ratio for videos is 16:9. Meanwhile, modern smartphones have an aspect ratio of 19.5:9. But what about uncommon aspect ratios? 2019, the company Essential announced Project Gem, a phone with a display ratio of an abnormally long 27:7, with the aim of being a lightweight portable phone. Compare that to BlackBerry. In 2014, they released the BlackBerry Passport, a phone with a display ratio of 1:1, a perfect square. But here's an interesting question. What feels more natural to you? A rectangle inside a square or a square inside a rectangle? Well, modern cinema says that a rectangle fits inside a rectangle. But not all cinemas are like that. 2014 film, Mommy, used a 1:1 ratio. But spoiler warning, the film has a crucial point where the aspect ratio shifts, creating a very dramatic change in the mood of the movie. On the other side of the spectrum, 1927 film, Napoleon, used a monstrously wide aspect ratio of 4:1, which required a specific setup using 3 simultaneous projections. But the 4:1 ratio has seen usage in other mediums. Video games. Arcade games like Darius and Ninja Warriors are the rare examples that use this ratio. But you can't mention video game ratios without mentioning Tetris, which uses a vertical ratio of 1:2. Okay, maybe that doesn't count, but what about the very first vertical video, Falling Cat? An 1894 chronophotographic sequence of images, which can be seen as technically a video. But there's a much bigger question that falls down. Why do we like displays that's the shape of a rectangle? Why not a circle? Circle is a phone that has a circular built-in display that challenges this idea. A Kickstarter-funded smartphone that states to fit better in your hands, your pockets, and your life. I respect the ambition, but if you look at the history of rectangular display, the aspect ratio in modern display systems is the result of the influence from the film and TV industry, which was influenced by photography, which was influenced by the paper industry, which was influenced by classical art, which was influenced by ancient papyrus and clay tablets. When you observe this timeline, an interesting pattern emerges. Rectangles have always been used to display written or visual information, except coins and clay tokens. Why? Affordances. In design, it is a concept where the purpose of an object is determined by visual cues such as color, shape, or texture. Here's an example. You're at a campsite for a family vacation. You find a rock and pick it up. What do you do with it? You whip that sucker at the lake or towards some trees. But what if you find and pick up a stick? You hold it and swing it around like a sword. The comparison here is between a spherical shape versus a cylinder. A sphere is a throwable shape. It feels like it's meant to be thrown. A cylinder is a very graspable shape. It feels like it's meant to be held. So what about a circle and a rectangle? Here's what I think. Circles feel like a mobile shape. Something about it feels like it's meant to be moved around. While rectangles feel stationary, meaning coins are meant to be exchanged and moved, while bills stay where they are. The other issue with a circular display is the orientation. If I gave you a randomly oriented rectangle with a picture on it, you can easily tell where the right side up is. This is the base, and it's parallel to the ground. But if I gave you a randomly oriented circle with a picture on it, it's hard to tell the exact rotation the picture is supposed to be in. But that's pretty much why we use rectangles as a display instead of a circle. I did try to see if the visual field or the human field of view could have influenced aspect ratio design, but that rabbit hole ended up being a tremendous waste of time. Oh, and here's one more uncommon aspect ratio. Chinese bamboo slips. These things are hella long.